Hi everybody, this is Charlie here with the Charlie Wills team. Welcome back. If you are not a member of our YouTube channel, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button. We'd love to have you keep coming back for our content. All right, what I'm going to talk about today is the 3 keys that we see in buying in this market. All right, pre-approval is absolutely number 1. And the reason we're going to start off with pre-approval is because it's your fastest way to make the biggest impact in your purchase. And I'll go into a little bit more in depth here. There's 2 types of pre-approval. There's your standard pre-approval and there's platinum. I call it platinum. A lot of our lender partners here call it platinum because it takes it another step. It goes beyond just basic pre-approval, which is verifying tax information, your W-2s, looking at income statements, looking at your checking balance or bank balance, your 401k balance, and then also looking at your debts in there and your liabilities. So that's a pre-approval. That's really good. It would normally work up in most markets, but what we're really seeing is if you do a platinum approval, is it fully underwrites the loan. So you, without an offer to purchase, it says this client, we're going to take it all the way through underwriting and we're going to be able to close that in anywhere from 12 to 14 days. So that what's so powerful about that is a cash letter 7 to 10 days. If you can get a bank letter in 12 to 14, somebody who's financed is just as powerful as somebody who's cash. So just that's a really key tip. What it takes to get platinum pre-approval, we would introduce you to one of our partners who do this kind of approval process, but it's a lot of underwriting. It's just extra work. It takes about 2 to 3 weeks to get it done, and that's why we're trying to tell a lot of our clients, do it now. Get ahead of it. Those pre-approval letters, especially the platinum ones, they last anywhere from 90 to 120 days as long as nothing changes for you financially. So a long time period to be able to be out in the market and not have to rerun that data. So that's our key tip. That's number 1. Number 2, you can get a lot of bandwidth because people are paying 5 to 10, sometimes 20% over, depending on the market, depending on where you are here in the Dane County or Madison area. That price range can really switch. But if you're going to give the seller that kind of premium, right, because of the inventory levels that we have here, you have to be prepared to pay for it. Meaning an appraisal needs to be something else. That's number 2 you need to talk about. Appraisals are a big deal. So the short of an appraisal, you have to have an appraisal if you have financing. That appraisal then is the market value determined by an independent third party. So the bank hires somebody on your behalf to go out and get a valuation, write it up. I'll give you a perfect example. Let's say you paid $350,000 for our house. The house was listed at $310,000 and the appraisal comes back at $325,000. Now, technically, it says the value is $25,000 less than what you paid for. In this market, the seller has, 10 buyers behind you, maybe more. Your choice is to bring that difference, the $25,000 in this example, or release yourself of that contract. So what our deal is that per client, everybody's got a different comfort level, right? You've got I have to have it in, I'm not going to do it without it. And there's some people like, waive it. We have a third option. The other option to this is taking the appraisal and what is called a gap coverage. So maybe you don't have to cover all the way down to list price at $310,000. Maybe you do our example is, you know what, the market's really showing that can go anywhere from $310,000 to $325,000. So why don't we write your gap coverage from $325,000 all the way to $350,000? And if the market value comes anywhere in there, then you're covered. And the seller doesn't have to worry about your deal falling apart, right? There's lots of scenarios in there to do that. So again, you can remove it out of your contract, or what we like to do is called a gap waiver to cover that difference in there. The last one, I think still important, probably the least out of the 3 examples that we're going to give today, inspections. We know people are not always comfortable pulling themselves out of it. Houses always have something. I'm going to say between $1,000 and $1,500 of maintenance work always. A lot of the properties that are in our market specifically, you can tell the houses that have been maintained and maintained and the ones that haven't. We're going to give you that opinion. We're going to try to help you go through that and say, like, look, this house looks like it's in pretty good shape. If you want to take the risk, is it worth losing a contract over $1,000 or $2,000 or $5,000? In this market, it's still your risk, so you have to just walk people through it. But there are ways to do it. So we have people either remove the inspection completely, they're just not even going to worry about doing one. They'll do one post closing and just fix anything that needs to be, really have something maintained or improved on because it needs it. The other option is to, almost like the appraisal, is to write a gap. They call it an inspection buffer contingency, but here in this area. But what it is I'll give you a perfect example. Going by our $325,000 offer, you're probably going to offer $5,000 to $10,000 and just say, look, I want to do an inspection. We'll get it done in 5 days. I just need to know that everything's going to be under 10 grand. If everything's under 10 grand, which I'm assuming your house is in fantastic shape, it still allows the buyer the comfort of doing one, but gives the seller the respect that says, hey, look, I'm not going to come back to you and look for a bunch of repairs. So again, there's tons of ways to handle that, but these are a lot of these tips that we're using and creating lots of success for our clients. But again, everyone's different. Everybody has a different scenario. We will walk every client through their perfect scenario. These are just really key, big tips. Those are the 3 that really, really matter. And no matter what, we run market analysis on every single property, so you know where's it sitting in the market, is it high, is it low, is it worth asking more, all sorts of stuff. So we want you to be the most prepared. I hope you find these tips really helpful. If you'd like more information about these, please set up a time with us. We have our link to our calendar, so you can ask anytime additional details and become a client of ours, or you can also ask how, in your specific situation, how we can best serve you. All right, thanks for joining us, and look forward to shooting more videos and sending more tips. Take care.